I would like to show you how I work on the UI of the game, what's my thinking process, and maybe it will be useful for those of you who also design games. So what you see here is the game setup with the mats, with the player mats. There is also a tray that I like to use with the game. But not about this thing. I would like to talk about how you can deal with problems with your UI. Played this UI for last 2 weeks, I think, and I really get used to it. I really like the guts, mat, etc. It felt very how to say it, very user-friendly because I took cars from here to there, from here to this place. I added patrons, rolled the dice, and then I have my guards with their irritation level. I won't explain now how the games work because it's not the video about that. Initiative from the opponent to use Minerva actions. We have actions, 9 actions, 3 for every god. We have our active allies, inactive allies, our wife, our stats, our treasury, and used loan. So we used the loan. And these 2 cards are why I started this video and the problem, because almost everything works perfectly. I roll the dice. Oh, sorry. I roll the dice, I check what I can use, so I add my die here, and I add the opponent die, it will be this here. I sum it, maybe I have used an ally, so I sum it, and I settle the encounter, and it's very easy. But there is one problem. All of this works, except one thing, that after I have settled one plot, so I have finished this plot. Say I got her, I got the patron into my banquet queue, and I have drawn another card from the forum, and I want to use another card. Say I want to plot with this card, so I do everything I should do to start the plot. I roll this card stats, so I roll the stats. You will see the problem in a moment. I rolled the stats, okay, I have the initiative, the cost of the plot, and now I have the problem because I forgot that I have to pay 1 talent because I have a wife. So 1 talent every plot I have to pay. If I have a wife, I have to pay 1 talent, and also because I have a loan, I also have to pay 1 talent. But my focus is here, and I often forgot about this because it's outside my peripheral view, and I was thinking how I could make it so I never forget about this. But I tried to move to make the marker of the. I started with the marker of the loan. I thought about the marker of the wife, but I already have a wife card, and I already have this card that represents the loan taken. I thought about maybe incorporating it somewhere here, but it became very clunky, and truly I didn't have any idea how to deal with this, because in my mind this setup was perfect, or was the setup I want to work with. But one way to deal with problems like that, or there are two ways. You can just ignore it and write some stupid rule that if you forgot to pay, you have to pay double, etc. But then you don't know if you if you forgot. So that's not the solution. The proper solution is if small adjustments doesn't solve the problem. Most of the time you have to kill your darlings and start from the scratch. And why I was thinking about that, I understood that maybe I just mixed two things, because here we have the players queue. So we have guest for the banquet, we have the banquet queue when it starts, and we have the revenge queue. So say we have, no, two will never be here, but say it is. So this is our queue. Then there's our gods and actions. So this is an action part. This is the queue part, and this is the user part. But we can think about this differently. We just choose the action and check. And when we choose the action, we then settle the roles and check if the action was successful. So maybe we can just move the action here. Move our player mat here, because we can go even further. We can move the queue here. Say we have our queue here. We have our stats here. The opponent stats are here, so they are close to each other. They are easier to read and easier to compare when they were here. And now we can drop the marker. So it is one small element out of the game. We can use this technique to put a card of the loan here. So it's very visible. It won't obstruct our game. The wife is here, so every time we put the new plot, we start the new plot, the wife and the loan is in our peripheral vision, so we should see it. We can put our change, still have it here, or maybe here. Let's start putting this here. Our active allies can be still here. Maybe. I'm doing this live. I haven't prepared this before. I'm showing how I try to think about the UI. So we have active and inactive allies. The active allies are used in our confrontations, in our encounters, so they should be somewhere here. Maybe even if I think about this more, if I put my wife this way, she will be even closer, and then I have more space to show how much money I have. I also designed the other way to track money with D10, I'm sorry. So we have the track of tens and track of hundreds. And if we can drop it by using D20 dice, so there is 0 for 0 and 9 for 19, and 0 for 0 and 9 for 900. So we can say we have 0 hundreds and 5 tens. And spare, I have also tried using the D20 die to count the spares, the change, I'm sorry. It is used when someone wants to play without any mats, just cards and dice. But for the playing, it feels a little fiddly, because you have to find the correct number. It's more tactile to just take the monies. Of course, they won't be metal in the final game, because it would be too costly to transport it, etc. I always replace game money with Polish grosz, because it feels like gold money. So maybe it could be something like that. Putting Y horizontally doesn't feel right, because if there will be maiden on the final cards, it will look somewhat strange. So maybe she should be vertically. I don't know how to settle the money yet. I have to think about this. What changes? And now about our actions. Originally, the gods have 3 cards that are tarot-sized cards, and they were put there. And the rule was that when the initiation was rolled, say here, you had to choose an action from the card and put the chosen action as a top card for the reference. So after you roll, you can check if you are above the threshold and the rules of the action. It would be better if I could roll above this. So if I switch it like that, sorry, I would probably see better. So if I roll, I have to check my patron. So the blue die. Oh, it rolled at the threshold, so this one is counted and those are not. Then I can move it here. But something about this doesn't feel right. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm so used to these setups to have on both hands something. Maybe because I just like to roll with the left hand. But of course, you can switch it and roll with the right hand and then read the rules from here. But what I have found is when we look at those cards with the rules themselves are the size of the normal card. They are just easier to take, and it feels good. But for the print and play version, we could do without using this. We could just use a format, like something like that. And with the printed actions, maybe even. So we could print 3 actions here, 3 here, and 3 here for every god. And instead of choosing action from the card, which I must say I sometimes forget. So I sometimes say I am choosing to intimidate our opponent, but instead of intimidating, I have this card on the top. Because I had said to myself I want to intimidate, but I forgot to change the card. But if we did it another way, if the actions were printed, and we just have to use the initiative die and put it on the action. So let's say this is not present, and we have something like that. So let's say this is the Mars with his irritation level, Minerva with her irritation level, Mercury with his. And then we have another action, the rest of the actions, like something like that. Maybe we can check how big this is. Or maybe we can move it slightly. That's the standard A4. So can we fit it here? Yes, I think with a little bit fiddling we could fit our actions here. Then the process would be, let's check how it would work. So the money would be somewhere here, maybe used allies we can put here on the side. Then we roll. Let's say our action is here. They are mismatched now by, let's say it's intimidation. So we had the initiative and we choose the intimidation. So what we do, we rolled. We have to check our patron. The problem will be that we have to look, find our patron by looking on the column. Before it was more visible because the initiative was next to the patron. Now you have to know, maybe the coloring of this column will be enough. So if the column would be red, we know that the patron is Mars. We can check his number, ignore the other numbers, choose what we rolled, choose what. So we roll, we check we check which die we can use. We check the rules of the engagement, which are here. So we know we compare influence and power. We can check it right like that, so it's in one peripheral vision. Make actions, so maybe get him to our make him to our ally deck. Make his patron to the correct queue. One problem is I liked how the queues were here. It was more readable for me, but the problem was it was not easy to get them, because if I wanted to make the player mats printable on the typical printer, I need to fit with 28 centimeters. So when we would try to put them on the mat, it's very fiddly. There is no space. We have to go outside the mat. And if we go this route, there is a lot of space to put those cards. I can go higher here, and there is a place to write what I have to put. So money here, active allies here. I can make icons for the queues. So now we have the player state. All this is just player state. His stats, his allies, his queues. And action area, that's all about action. Rolling area and other resources. Of course, if someone doesn't have this kind of mat, we can just make it like that. So those are our dice to use. The money would lie somewhere here or here, but now they can they can mix with our money, so maybe it's not a very good idea. And if we put them here, there is a quite nice way to handle money, because we just do it like that. And it somewhat feels good. I have a problem with inactive allies. I don't know where to put them. Probably here, and then I would put money here, just because it's easy. Or maybe not. Maybe I would put money here, so I can move them. Of course, the try is not necessary. It's just my way of playing comfortably. I can show you the other and less expensive way is just using some kind of that kind of mat. It works even better. It's easier to pick something from this than from the hard plastic leather. I will have to think about this because it ruined the way I played so much that this just doesn't feel okay for me, but it's logical. It's very hard to forget about paying for the loan and for the wife if they are all here. Well, this is the trigger for the payment, so it's very close to the state of the payment. The one thing I don't really love is this, having all this as one page. But I have to say, for the print and play version, it would solve the biggest problem of this game in the PNP version, printing action cards. Because now we just need to print something like that with actions and something like that with the cues. And maybe one page here, so we have three A4 pages. We don't even have to cut them because it is almost A4. I can see a word when we just use A4 pages without any cutting, so everyone can just print it and play the game, and all you need just 3 cards, 3 printed pages, dice and cards, and you can play the game. So from the UI and UX perspective, probably this is the correct way to do it. From the feeling perspective, I missed cards, so I'll probably for the final game I may have do it somehow different. Maybe I'm just too much attached to this, and this creates more problems that it solves. I just like it. So that was the process. I'm not sure it will be the final UI of the game. It feels a little cramped, maybe even, but I have to say, from the PNP standpoint, it solves so many problems that I will probably go this route. Okay, so while I was editing the video, I saw something obvious, that should be obvious, but I forgot about this. So 2 things. First, the game is made to be played solo. That was the original idea. But after I finished the rules, I decided to make the multiplayer version also. And I have designed but not yet tested Lex Julia versions, that's for the couples, and PvP version for up to 4 players. And I have decided to constrain myself because I don't like games that don't fit normal table. So I decided to design the game so it will fit normal table, so it's 80 centimeters by 110 centimeters. Even though the print and play version is mostly designed for single player, you can play up to 4 players. So what I have to do, I have to fit 2 players from the both sides. So I had to make this player mat more compact with jokers hidden because they are used only once in the game. We just have to remember that we can use them. So they are here, or maybe even they should be like here, because they could be here because they are used against the opponent, but then we'll have the problem with marking that we use the loan. So let's for now go back with them here. When I compact this the player mat this way, it's very useful still, but the two players fit across each other. Also, I have found that when we use decks, the queue, the revenge queue, the banquet queue, and the guest queue like that, all the decks are in the one line, so it's okay, it looks nice. As for the allies, I just found that you can put them here. And they fit here great, because when we have the encounter, we can just check our allies, check our used allies, and maybe use them in the encounter. So it's obvious that they are used if they lie here. So the opposite players fits, but the players that would like to sit next to each other will not fit. Say we want four players, so we would have this like that. Maybe if we had the smaller version, we could have two on both sides for every player, so no one has to reach to roll the die. But say we put it like that, we can have at most 60 centimeters for one player. And to have 60 centimeters, this is 60 centimeters from here to here, so we don't have this space. Of course, it would be moved to the side of the table, but to solve this, the only version I see to solve this elegantly is to go back to cards, to action cards. So if we have this and action cards as they were originally designed by me, so let's say it's like that, then our allies can fit here. This is the common area for all the players. This half of the area, the other half, so every player can have to fit under this line. So if we move it here, here, and here, we can fit everything nicely. Even if we have that's another design I was considering. Even if we put it like there, it works. So we either lose the one sheet of paper with all the actions. The idea that is user-friendly, but I don't like it. Personally, I just love the fact I can choose the cards. It's one of the actions in the game I really enjoy. I don't know why, but I really do. So probably for the final game, or I will provide the files to print this, or maybe I'll be able to fit all 9 actions on one A4 sheet of paper. That would be ideal, to be fair. So we would have 1, 1, and 1 common. So every player would have two sheets of papers plus 1 common sheet of paper, and all 4 would fit nicely on the one normal table. So this is the amendment to the video I recorded earlier, and so the next, maybe the third idea about designing is to work with physical things to check how it feels. I don't design setup in the computer. I only design the mats, but I always print them and try to fit them on the table to feel them, to feel how moving them from one place to other, how it feels. If I choose this way, I would probably switch Mercury here, just because his actions are all about money, and then I would have the money column nicely here. Then the Minerva, so the thinking reasonable actions, and Mars, the aggressive, most dangerous actions here. with our allies that are not dead but they are inactive. So it will feel nicely, at least for one player, because for the other player it already is like that. So maybe it's not needed. I try to make it as elegant as possible and as useful as possible. And when I play, I like to feel that it just works. And it is hard, but I have to say it's the most, for me, maybe not most, but it's the second to designing the mechanics. I wanted to say that it was the second thing I like the most, but to be fair, I like designing the mechanics, writing the lore, and design. I like everything about designing games, to be fair. And we can end with that. Thank you. If you have any comments about this process, about my thinking, feel free to share it. Thank you very much.